She's a Super Geek is a proud member of the Misdirected Mark Network. This episode is brought to you by the patron Carl Brigney and Sounds Like Crows. Sounds Like Crows is a dramatic horror western actual play focused on inter-party conflict. Check them out.
She's a rock and roll play baby, and she throws a natural 20 crazy. She's a rock and roll play baby, and she's nothing near to normal and maybe I'm in love.
You're listening to episode 118 of She's a Super Geek, the actual play RPG podcast highlighting women as GMs. Hello all, I'm Andi, and on today's podcast, my co-host Senda and I are playing what's usually a single-player RPG, Gentleman Bandit by Allison Arth. In this game, you play an old guard type of highwayman, known as Gentleman Bandit, because no one knows his true name. Every time you have to kill someone, you leave a poem of 13 verses. In the single version of the game, you draw cards in order to give you prompts for each of these verses. In our duel game, Senda plays the Gentleman Bandit, and I play a young sheriff hunting him down. We write poems back and forth to each other. The first 2 rounds, we used a single deck of cards and went through almost all of them. The third round is the final showdown, where we shuffled the cards and composed a poem as if we were speaking to each other during this final showdown. The sun creeps low overhead as a lone figure on a horse rides up to a small homestead. Something's wrong. He can feel it in his bones. The old sheriff who always meets him at the gate, even when he didn't know his adopted son was coming, wasn't there. Dismounting, the young man with red hair leads his horse through the fence gate and to the main house, following another set of boot prints in the dirt. A body lies just outside the door. The young man rushes up to find the old sheriff dead, and a poem nailed to the door.
If only it were free to eat, to ride, to live, then no longer need I hunt. But when there is naught left to do for life, thus is life sustained. When Marie cared for me and I lived for her, the cattle load and freedom was mine. And yet, once a wanderer, forever will the road call me. I know she needed me, sweet Marie, and yet I could not stay. I can never let her know where my heart truly lay. Oh, sweet Annie, how could you leave me so, thus bereft, to pine? Held by Marie as twilight settled low o'er the fields. I know you left because I wandered, Annie, and yet the road calls still. And now this road with neither love I cannot care for now, yet on I ride, through wind or storm, chasing you, my love. As weary thunks the hooves touch earth, ever yet I follow on. I curse my wandering bones I ever made you doubt my faith.
After a long ride, winding through the ravines to ensure no one followed him after the murder, the Gentleman Bandit returns to his rough campsite. As his horse drinks from the nearby, clear stream, a crow flies overhead and with a squawk drops something. The Gentleman Bandit watches a piece of paper gently drift down and catches it before it hits the ground. A bandit like you will never know real love. But the stars blessed me with 2 loving parents. My duty to the town you awoke when slaying the townsfolk for their gold. For while a father I never had, the old sheriff to this town filled those shoes. I wish I'd been there to take your bullet for him. I found him, cold, with blood drying around his breast, laying in the sandy dirt. My only parent left, you snatched from me, just as I will stomp the life from you. So out I go with loyal Dusty Mane, to hunt you down like a dog. For though death took all I love, now my heart is only filled with vengeance for you. No place to call home anymore. I suppose we share that. No place to call home except the grave dug with my name on the tombstone. I dug it when I buried my mother long ago, so I could sleep beside her when eternity comes for me. The old sheriff did right by me, taking me in, though I fought his guidance at first. Now revenge for his life shattered will fuel me. That night, at the same campsite, the red-haired young man comes riding up with great purpose. Everything is dark. The bandit is long gone. He curses the air in his own lungs before noticing another poem tacked to the wood holding up the lean-to. He waits until the gray light of near dawn is enough for him to read.
You may think this old sheriff did naught to me, but no, 10 years behind bars. If not even love can hold me, imagine my misery, and for nothing. If he had not framed me for sweet Marie, poor sweet Marie, cold, still, I might have loved her some day, I might have made an honest life there. Now my heart is truly adrift, not left to anchor it. Even in losing Annie, Marie was there for me. I wanted to change for Marie, for Anne, but her blood was on his hands. What could I do but as my soul and honor command and take my cold revenge? And now I flee not from death, calm, cool, quiet, but the cage. I ride not from and not to, only away, only to the emptiness of success. I go to my home, the empty, wide plains, the sky of brilliant sapphire. If not love, I shall have the freedom of the wind and the scent of the sage. Though without love, perhaps there is no joy.
The Gentleman Bandit stops to catch his breath on the top of the plateau. Up here is a hideout used by the old guard, but now should be empty. A twinge in his knee reminds him he is not as young as he once was, as he kneels down to brush the dirt off the trapdoor entrance, but stops when a piece of paper nailed to the wood catches his eye. Your lies grow like weeds in a garden. I wish I could set them aflame. Now my adopted father needs me to clear his name. I remember that day. Marie was found dead, a bullet also in her breast. Right where you shot the old sheriff, but conveniently not fired by the same person. This I cannot believe, since the Gentleman Bandit is so well known for his aim. The prairie is so broad and vast, I could stay here forever. Once you're 6 feet under, I could roam free. Your actions have brought me here, but my decisions keep me riding. My mother believed I could be a good man. The old sheriff showed me how to live a good life. Once I bury you, maybe I'll try this good living. Somewhere quiet, away from everyone else. Alone on the prairie, with nothing to prove. Once justice has been delivered. A shadow falls over the trapdoor. The Gentleman Bandit lets the poem slip out of his hand as he turns to face his pursuer.
The sun is high over the empty plains. If I am to die today, I will be at home.
Your death will prove to all that I am worthy of following in my adopted father's footsteps.
Your adopted father created the monster to hide his face when he ripped the breath from Marie's velvet bosom.
Lies! You coward and murderer! One of us will join him in death before the sun sets!
Leave me be, boy. You know not of loss. Let me ride my track home and long for peace.
Today you shall know true freedom. by the joy of a biting bullet.
Do not wrong me like your old man did. I have lost enough. Go.
You will have to shoot me dead if you wish to walk away. Draw your gun.
You are brave, boy. If I had had a son to love, black hair like Marie, or red like Sweet Anne, like yours, if I had had a son, I would hope him brave like you.
I had a father. The Gentleman Bandit stole him from me. And now, the bandit will ride the plains no longer.
Ah, Annie, my sweet Anne Clement, at least I will see you again.
You should greet your new master, the devil, and leave my mother's name off your lips.
A son, my star-crossed love has brought me a son, and also my end. I am proud of you, boy.
She plays a maid, she's got me under her spell. She plays a fighter with her eyes set to kill. I play, and I can't look away, yeah.
We hope you enjoyed episode 118 of She's a Super Geek. If you liked what you heard, go onto your favorite podcatcher and give us a 5-star rating and review. You can find more about us on the internet, sassgeek.com, or on Twitter at sassgeekpodcast. Our theme song is Rock and Roll Play Baby by Kieran Strange. You can find more music, merch, and tour dates online, kieranstrange.com, or on Twitter at Kieran Strange. This was Gentleman Bandit, a very special dual playthrough. Join us in 2 weeks for our next adventure.
Defenses, I'm ready, I'm waiting on the battleground. She's a